G'day. Being cooped up at home can be quite difficult, but it doesn't always have to be difficult if we know what to do in the garden. So today's subject is going to be called to cut back or not to cut back. When I'm talking about this subject, what I'm actually doing is I'm thinking about the types of plants and how they're reacting at this time of year. We're starting to see a lot of cold nights come through. At the moment, we're seeing mainly temperatures of around 11 to 13 degrees, but over the next couple of weeks, we're going to see temperatures start to drop into the low 10s. And what this is going to do is it's going to have an effect on the way plants react, especially over the long period. So, do we cut plants back now or do we hold off? At the moment, I'm looking to cut back camellias. What I'm doing though is I'm not cutting them back hard because you'll find that they are all starting to bud heavily, and you'll probably find this will be the same for azaleas. So what we're doing, we're actually going to be going around and hiding all the cuts. This is to keep the plant looking full, but also keeping it looking trim and tight. If you've got a Sasanqua camellia hedge, for example, what I want you to do is treat the whole hedge as one plant. What you do at one end of the garden, you would obviously do at the other end. This will keep the hedge looking really strong. Other plants such as choisia, what I will be doing is cutting these back really hard. The reason why we do that is because this time of year they've gone through a big growth spurt over the summer months, and now it's time to hit them hard. We need to bring the plant back down so the plant's a lot stronger. One of the things you will see is a lot of choisias get splitting, especially from the inside of the plant. When you do cut back a choisia hard, yes, it does look a bit untidy, but don't be too worried about that because they are very fast growing and they'll come back nicely. When the plant's open like this, I always go through and look for splitting. You must be prepared to get rid of the splits today, because what's going to happen is these splits are going to be the problems for tomorrow. Don't forget, when you are gardening, you're always gardening for tomorrow. You're not gardening for today. In very few cases, you're actually gardening for that specific moment. Citrus trees and roses, obviously, you'll do them later on in the year. Maybe around August is when I like to cut these back. When you're cutting back a plant, it can be actually quite difficult to understand what the best tool is for the job. On some plants, such as the camellias, azaleas and gardenias, you're best going through with a pair of secateurs. Yes, this is time consuming and it can be very daunting to start with, especially if you've got to hedge them. But the results will be much cleaner and a very professional look. If you were to use a hedge trimmer on a plant like this, or even a pair of shears, one of the things you will find is you'll get a lot of half-cut leaves. And this is where the burn is going to affect the look in the next couple of months, especially if we get a very early frost. And we do get frost quite early around this type of area. If you are going to be using a hedge trimmer, make sure you use them on the correct plants. When I'm talking about plants, I want you to go down and see the team at All Green Nursery and ask them if you are having any problems on the best way to actually prune the plants. It's really important that when we are pruning plants that we set them up for the future. I will keep saying this through all the talks that I do, because we have to understand we are not gardening for today, but gardening for the long term. When you're cutting back a fruit tree, such as this lemon tree for example, one thing you must understand is you must keep the tree nice and small. And the reason is so you can go up there and grab the fruit when it's ripe. If the tree gets too big, only the birds and the possums will get the benefits of your tree.